Well, today I have a very, very special guest. I have Rafay Qamar. He's the lead co-founder of the Qamar Group. Thanks, Rafay, for making time to come on the show today. I know you have a really busy schedule, and we were able to squeeze you in here.
Absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
My honor to be here. What an incredible set.
I know.
What an incredible host. What an incredible suit. I love that jacket.
Thank you. Thank you.
One of my favorite ones.
You're not looking too shabby yourself. But yeah, Rafay, wanted to get you on today. Obviously, we work on the same team. There's a lot of people out there that know you. Yeah. There's also a lot of people that don't know you.
Of course.
Right? So I want you to kind of give a quick little backstory about, the team and kind of where you took us from and just kind of where we're going. Yeah. But also, just wanted to kind of wanted you to share your vision. Okay? Yeah.
So got in business 2014 after having a successful career in banking. Just absolutely hated the corporate America, not my cup of tea. And 2014 just came back home. I believe it was October around that time, and dejected, just hated absolutely everything I was doing, and turned on TV, and it was Bravo TV. It was one of the $1 Million Listing episodes, and just fell in love with the whole lifestyle of real estate agent and sales, and thought it was really cool, gratifying career experience, and thought I'll go down this path. So got my license, and that was the beginning of sort of this journey. I am an immigrant. I moved here to U.S. in 2005, so I've had a lot of odds stacked against me since the beginning. Not having clientele, not having friends, family, not having gone elementary school or whatever, high school, whatever here. Right. So it was all kind of clean slate from the beginning. So 2014, I got into residential real estate. There was a brokerage in Bonetka. I was very naive. I thought just having your license held at in an affluent community would just get you all the clients coming in. Far from it, and you know that as well. Just a brand or this and that. It's really you at the end of the day. It's your brand. You got to be in front of clients, and you got to have the networking and the connections. Just having a name behind you doesn't really bring clients through the door. So I started off at Coldwell Banker, again, a fine company. I was there for a couple of years. I was Rookie of the Year. First year, about shy of $10 million. Second year, $15 million. I opened up my own first real estate office, Remax. That was back in 2015. Opened up in Skokie. Built that, grew that, built the team, $22 million, $22.5 million, just me and another part-timer. Opened up a second office in West Loop, another Remax franchise. That was back in 2017. And just really quickly, writing on the wall, I just realized the whole franchise model, the brick and mortar, the mom and pop, it just was on a decline. Yeah. I just realized that I wasn't really going to have much luck with the franchise model because it comes with a lot of expenses. It's a revolving door. So at that time, I decided to part ways with the franchise offices and look for the best alternative. And I always knew that alternative was never going to be a final resting place. It was just an alternative. It was just a Band-Aid, temporary. I was in purgatory, right? So we moved to the best option at that point. This was 5-6 years ago, was Compass. And it was a cool progressive company at that time. And we moved over, joined in 2019, about $35 million. It was Jana, myself, and one part-timer, a couple of part-timers actually. And then we built from there. It's $35 million 2019, about $75 million 2020. We did a cracked $100 million third year into it. That was 2021. And then we've kind of stayed right there. But that was another sort of realization that we've just been very stagnant. We never really had the opportunity of sort of expanding and spreading out. And I truly, after pandemic, had a realization that we are now in an era of mega teams. And there's a massive demise when it comes to brick and mortars, big box shops. There's just much commission compression coming our way that we just won't be able to pay the brick and mortars bills as well as our bills and then really build a brand. For a couple of people, like 2 or 3 people team, yeah, it's a great company. You want to stay like $10, $15, $20 million team, that's fine. But if you're trying to build a $1 billion organization, it's very, very difficult to build it at a brick and mortar. I haven't seen any, maybe some anomalies, but really that's where we started going down this rabbit hole collectively, right? And
Right.
you were part of the decision as well. And around 2023, we knew our contract renewal was coming up. It was going to be a difficult conversation. Indeed, it was a very difficult conversation. We knew because all these brokerages are also hurting, they took our commission down and they took our fees up, right? And we were at a pretty attractive split, but after looking at all the expenses, the listing fees, the resource fees, this fees, that fees, co-op fees, the missed revenue, the fronting of E&O insurance, I mean, we were really taking a hit.
Yeah.
I mean, fourth, if not more than that, off a total commission check was just taken off, just because of a broker expense. So really, I mean, we had to make a decision. It was a hard decision. Again, we were quite happy at that time at the brokerage, but we had outgrown the brokerage. We do things a little bit differently as well, as you've seen. We believe in having multiple streams of income coming through. We believe in spreading the wealth, not just having wealth as a team leader or as a broker owner. Truly, everyone should have the opportunity to take advantage of that, especially with the future commission compression. It's going to be very, very difficult for us to make a living in real estate. We have to have a superior skill set. I truly believe about 50 to 55% of real estate agents will be out of business in next 12 to 18 months. And we had to make some changes. So that's when we realized that maybe we should start exploring an alternative, a model which allows us to have higher commission splits, which allows us to have autonomy, a way for us to run the business the way we want to run it, but not only locally, but nationally and then globally. And that, coupled with the rise in mega teams, coupled with infrastructure, which can support all of this, that was our decision. And we made a decision to a cloud-based firm called Real. We've been here 4 weeks now, just about a month. Yeah. And I can say truly it has been the best decision. Right, Dom? It's been absolutely the best decision. And not only we are now maximizing our potential when it comes to real estate commissions, our fees are close to none. We are earning multiple streams of income. We can talk about that if you want, Ed. But that's kind of my journey in a nutshell. I mean, I truly am a believer that at this point I'm trying to pay it forward along with you guys. We enjoy coming to work. This is our sort of sanctuary at this point. We invite people here to share what we're doing that's working for us. But truly, we want to take this, multiply it, and turn this into the first $1 billion real estate team across Midwest.
Yeah, and thanks for sharing that Rafay. Truly amazing journey that you've been on, just personally, and I'm glad to be a part of it as well. Now being on the team and just experiencing, what we're going through, and all the great possibilities that's in store for us.
Absolutely.
Obviously, we're at a new brokerage now. We're at Real, and it was something that wasn't an easy decision because there's a lot of options out there. Yeah. What do you say was probably one or two key components that made you decide to choose that brokerage? I mean, because there's a lot of options, right?
So, and this wasn't easy, and I truly mean this. I joke about this. I've done a PhD in brokerage model right now. I can do a thesis on it. See, the way I see it, it's 4 categories. You've got the brick and mortar, the big box brokerages. Mm-hmm. You've got, At Properties, Coldwell Banker, Compass, Baird & Warner, Berkshire, some of these names and whatnot, Dreamtown and a few others. Then you have the franchise model, Century 21, Remax, some of the franchise models.
Right.
Then you've got the alternative option of going independent, right? So you have D-April and some of these kind of flat fees models like Kale and whatnot.
Right.
And then the fourth one is a cloud-based model, and there's a rise of these companies, and you see EXP trailblaze that. You have LPT, out of Florida. Robert Palmer is the owner. You've got Epic. You've got Real, and I kid you not, I have spent hours and hours dissecting each one of these, studying them. I've actually studied broker model. Yeah. I've met the owners, I've met the directors, and after reviewing every single thing, Ed, that's when I made a decision. to proceed with Real. And again, it wasn't a solo decision. It was a group decision. We all looked at it. We all reviewed it. We sat down. It was still 6 months into making once we all made an executive decision. But to answer your question, it was having a lean model that allowed us full autonomy, that allowed us to have higher commissions in a capping model. Right. It makes no sense, absolutely no sense, to have broker continuously taking splits off the top after a certain amount of level that we've done. If you're hitting $100 million in sales, there shouldn't be any cut after that. I mean, there should be a certain amount of cut, then there should be profit sharing. Second, the fee model. Having all these excessive fees, transaction fees, 495 list fees, co-op fees, resource fees, desk fees, this fees, that fees. I mean, at the end of the day, the brokers are really taking all the juice out of the transaction. There's not much left. That's the money we can be using to reinvest into the transaction, into our branding, into marketing, right? Yeah. No wonder we're not growing. No wonder we're stuck at 100 million, because there's not an influx of cash going in for marketing. We're not expanding. And lastly, I wanted something that was generational, that was willable, that allowed us to take what we're doing and share the opportunity. And that was a revenue share, right? And again, these are just 3 points that I'm hitting on Real right now. There are 11 more. And I'm happy to kind of discuss this later on in a different episode. But those were the 3 biggest ones for me. And revenue share is just a game changer. And I mean, I know you're participating in that as well. I know we just are getting started, and people are going to be looking for a lifeline. People are going to be looking for help. And this is truly, I think, genuinely our way of helping people out.
Yeah, no, that's great. So, I think a lot of agents, like you said, are looking for a lifeline. But at the same time, anytime there's something new, there's always a little trepidation. They're kind of worried, like, well, I don't know too much about it, right? Then there's also like the brand recognition that you get with a lot of the big name brokerages that you mentioned. Sure. How do you think that you're able to overcome that in this market?
My first statement is fortune favors the brave. Yeah. Right. Someone has to take a step forward first. Someone has to be, someone has to spearhead the movement. Right. And I'm so proud. And I've always been an underdog. Always, since the beginning, I've been an underdog. I love having all odds stacked against. I love having everyone say this is not going to work out, and then proving everyone wrong. I thrive on that. I've done that my entire life. But let's be more logical. Right, that's emotional, right? Let's be more logical. Again, we spent a lot of time on this. We looked at everything. I actually, a decade-long career, took a step back, and I'm like, how many clients have I gotten because of a brand? Right. How many clients have reached out to me and said, I want to work with Rafay because he is with X brand? Yeah. 1, right? Maybe 2. I don't know. I can't think of any. But I'll tell you this. How much money has been taken away from me because of the brand? Yeah. Hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, right? So that's where you gotta sort of have make a decision. Plus, I'm pretty good at really kind of understanding where the market trends are, and I just know the future is not looking very good. According to NAR, less than 51% brokers sold 1 or less homes in last 12 months, right? Last year. Right. Things are not going to get easier. It's just gonna get more and more difficult. So now with NAR lawsuit, people are going to have to go and get more creative. They're going to have to really explain their value prop. They're going to have to get much better at what they do. But above all, last thing they want to do is have obstacles like their brokerages. Right. Last thing I want to do is fight my brokerage on commissions or listing fees or transaction fees. I want full autonomy to be able to operate. So when I looked at all those things, and on top of that, with commission compression, having the ability to pull in maybe a little extra dollars, extra cash to have a buffer for a rainy day, looking at all those things, that was my rational decision. Yeah.
So for let's say for someone who has a team of your size, a team or even like a small brokerage, what kind of advice, I guess, would you give them to just kind of look at every option on the table and say okay, this might be a good option for you if they're thinking like maybe their current situation is not the best at their brokerage where they're at now?
Well, I would say look at the numbers. Numbers don't lie. We looked at the numbers. This was not an emotional decision. This was a business decision. I looked at the numbers. I looked at the P&L statement. I shared my numbers with my accountant. I brought in my financial advisor. I pulled every single business model and I said, dissect this.
Yeah.
I pay you plenty of money. Tell me which one makes most sense.
Right.
He looked at every single model and he said, by far, Real is the best, most leanest model right now. Maybe a couple of years from now, there'll be a better model. I don't know.
Yeah.
As of today, this is the best opportunity out there. So this was a business decision. Secondly, to answer your question, anyone who's running a large team, I would say, again, know your numbers. Know your numbers very well. Look at where the expenses are. How much off the top is the brokerage taking? Right? Are they taking 5%, 4%? Okay, maybe it's worth it. Are they taking 10, 15, 20%? And don't just look at the split. Look at the transaction fees, the listing fees that you're charging or the brokerage is charging the sellers. Look at the co-op fees, that's missed revenue. Look at the resource or desk fees or operational costs or transaction fees. Look at the other excessive fees, E&O insurance and this and that. That's a profit center for a lot of brokerages. I might get a lot of heat for this, but this is the reality. Right?
It's a business.
So for me, this was a business decision. I would urge everyone to look at your numbers and don't be afraid, because I mean, we moved and is transition easy? Absolutely not. It's very difficult. But in hindsight, I wish I would have done it earlier.
Yeah. So let's talk about it, on a more, agent level. You mentioned, maybe 50 to 60% of agents are leaving the business, right?
Yeah, I would say a good estimate, 30 to 40% for sure in next 12 to 18 months. I would say over the course of next 3, 4, 5 years, but yeah, half of the realtor community, according to NAR, the members that we have, membership's going to go down.
So that being said, I mean, obviously, there's going to be agents out there who might not be in a position to leave the business. Maybe they don't have another option, right? But, at the end of the day, they want to make this work, right? Yeah. They want to make this option work. And, aside from the brokerage or anything like that, like what kind of advice can you give an agent who's maybe in a position now where they've been struggling, they're looking for that lifeline, and, what kind of advice can
you give? Find your tribe.
Yeah.
Find your tribe very, very fast. Find your tribe, just get plugged in, understand your KPIs, and allow them to hold you accountable. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's it. Discipline, right? We would talk about this. Motivation, discipline. Motivation is cool, like up and down. I'm really motivated today. I'm not feeling motivated. I'm really, right? Discipline eats motivation for breakfast every single day. Yeah. Be disciplined, right? Come on in. We do this. We host our calls. Every Tuesday, every Thursday, we have calls. Every Monday, every Wednesday, you and I are leading from the front. We're here 7:45. Right. If you're late, you do have how many push-ups? Tell the audience what's the penalty?
Is it 2 push-ups per minute?
Per minute. That's right. Or $1 a minute that you're late. We got about $70, $80. We gotta figure out what we're doing with the cash, but a lot of people are late. But that's the accountability.
Blame it on the traffic.
Yeah, but I would say find your tribe. It's the era of mega teams. It's very, very difficult to run the whole expense, be by yourself, and be successful in the business. Some old timers, people that have, they're seasoned agents and they have transactions under their belt, they can figure it out. But it's just so much more fun when you have a tribe, right? Yeah. You have accountability. You have a whole community around you. You can leverage each other's skills.
Absolutely.
There are times when I'm not able to make it, Ed, and you're backing me up. There are times when I know I'm not going to connect with this personality, and I know you will, right? I mean, having the ability to kind of do this as a group, that just makes it more fun. Yeah. And it's kind of like the yin yang effect. If you look at our logo, I don't know if it's right here. Look at our logo. Right there you go. There's a lot of thought into this logo. Right. This is our this is kind of the idea. This is our the vision was to kind of create a community and a tribe, no man left behind mantra.
Yeah.
If you look at it, it's a circle. It's a globe. We're trying to be international. We're not trying to be local. I said earlier, it's not. It's the era of mega teams. It's rise of mega teams, and not local, hyper local, but national and beyond, global. We speak 14 languages, right? So it kind of looks like the earth. It's global. It's black and white. It's day and night. We work around the clock. We have clients in China. When it's day here, it's night over there, right? Yeah. We're helping people from different parts of the world. It looks like a yin yang, right? Mm-hmm. So we're kind of There's good and bad. There's some people that have weaknesses. Some people have strengths. We have to work off of each other's strengths and weaknesses. We leverage each other. There's a straight line in the middle, right? Fastest way to any transaction, fastest way to any sale is a straight line.
Yeah, there was a lot of thought put into that logo.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of how we think about everything. We're a couple steps ahead. There has to be story. There has to be a mission behind every single move that we make. And that's how we've kind of come, to this decision.
Yeah. I love that, find your tribe, because, that was something that when, we first, spoke and, I decided to partner up and join your team, that was something that I saw the vision, I realized that you had a good plan in place, right? Yeah. It wasn't just like you were just kind of just doing transactions and just, doing deals. Because some teams, they're just focused on the numbers, right? Yeah. And that's great, right? Because everything is about production. Yeah. But you had a vision, right? You had the 2, 3, 5-year plan, and you knew where you were going, right? Absolutely. And so that was what attracted me to the team. And now, being able to kind of like be a part of it and see, everything that you said when we first met is kind of coming to fruition is amazing. So,
look at where you are today, Ed. I mean, the number of transactions, running your own small team right now. You have, you're pulling in good revenue share right now. You're a partner of the team. You're making decisions with us. We sit in board meetings once a month, and we're directing and shaping the team and what needs to be done. I mean, we're making some big decisions here, and not just decisions that are helpful to us, but the 30 other people, and then the 70, 80 other people in the organization. Everyone's taking advantage of that. Yeah. So we're changing a lot of lives on a daily basis.
Yeah, and I think that to me was one of the most important things, because you mentioned it before. When you want to move to a different brokerage, it's one thing when you do it by yourself. Yeah. But you have 32 agents currently on our team that are kind of looking for the guidance and hoping that we make the right decisions for the whole team. And obviously you've been doing a tremendous job with that. So
thank you. I appreciate. Listen, I joke about this. If it was just me by myself, I'd make a lot of reckless decisions and mistakes, right? Sorry, whatever. Worst case scenario, I'll figure it out. I'll jump again. But when you have 30 to 40 people counting on you, and you have staff members and families and livelihoods are dependent on your decision, one decision, then you have to be very, very analytical. I was very analytical about this entire decision. This was not a decision that was taken lightly. It was not an emotional decision, like I told you. We got some incredible peers at our previous brokerage. It's a fine brokerage. We just outgrew them. We were destined for something big.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm hearing a lot of good stuff coming out your mouth, and obviously we're on the same team, so I guess I'm in agreement with you. But pretend I'm not someone who's on the team. Mm-hmm. Like, what's so good about the brokerage you chose? What's so good about Real? And what makes that the best option? I'm just curious.
Well, I mean, I kind of touched on that, right? I mean, it was a business decision, so it makes it the best option because my advisor, my financial advisor, my accountant, my bookkeeper looked at everything. We ran scenarios. Every transactions we did at our former brokerage, and assuming we did nothing more, the same transactions, and didn't participate in stock opportunities, didn't participate in revenue share, didn't do any of that, didn't be an elite member, didn't do any coaching, training, didn't do any cultural awards, we still would have made more money. So I just picked the lesser of two evils then, right? Yeah. If I am sitting somewhere and I'm about to eat my food, right? 2 scenarios. And there's one person that every single time I'm eating something, they're coming and refilling everything. And conversely, I'm eating something and every single time I put it back, a portion of that's removed from my plate. Which one would you pick?
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Right? So it's a platform that's promoting production. It's a platform that's incentivizing you, giving you money to produce. So if I take a step back, instead of giving money to the brokerage, if I take a step back, I'm actually making money to be part of this brokerage. Why wouldn't I pick it? Yeah. Right? Plus I'm building a legacy. I'm building multiple ways of earning wealth and multiple streams of income, security, safety, autonomy. I'm getting every which way I want to run the business, the way I want to run it, without any objections, without me fighting my brokerage. Last thing I want to do is fight my brokerage to go get a listing. Right? And we felt that, Ed, you and I mean, we felt that. Yeah. We are a heavy FISBO prospecting team. We were not even allowed to go get listings below 5%.
Right.
I have lost I was looking at some numbers. We've lost north of $20-30 million worth of business just in past 12 months because our former brokerage did not allow us to list properties below 5%. Or they would come back and take their half from whatever we were pulling in.
Right.
They'll call it ghost income or whatever, and they'll like make up for whatever the difference would have been. So I'm getting hit not only by fees and transactions and aggressive splits. I'm not able to operate as a business owner. I mean, why would I be at that brokerage?
Which is funny because that was the basis of the NAR settlement. You know
exactly. So the fact that some brokers are still able to get away with that and call it a business policy is just absurd. It's atrocious. Absolutely.
Yeah. So what it sounds like to me is that you're saying that these big name brokerages are, in some point, are going to be obsolete.
Mark my words. What day is it today?
24th.
23rd. May 23rd, 2024. I give it maybe 12 months. Watch a mass consolidation of brokerages. Watch 30 to 40% of them shut their doors. They're hurting. They know this. They're hurting right now. And for you people that are hurting right now, there's an incredible opportunity called private label. Allow me to tell you what that is. You can keep your name, you can keep your brand, nothing has to change. You can operate on the platform and get rid of all your expenses. And I'm telling you, that's the future of real estate.
Yeah. And also, too, you know, I mean, you got the guys in Silicon Valley. I mean, they're already coming at the realtors.
They know how much money there is in real estate.
They know how much money there is. It out. They're figuring it out. They're coming up with different platforms, different ways to come after our commissions.
And they're not going to stop.
No.
They have realized how much money there is in real estate. All right. 7 or 10 years is what we have in this business before the commission is going to be completely subsidized, going to be a different way of operating business. I believe 70 to 80% of brokers will be out of business next 10 years, decade. Decade is what we got left. A lot of really good producing agents agree with me. Other people might be delusional. That's okay. They'll figure it out for themselves. But yeah, people have realized how much money there is, and you know, they're targeting direct to consumer right now. The biggest wave of buyers right now are millennials. Biggest wave, 40 to 45%. They have a better connection with their phones than they have with you and I. Right?
Yeah.
They trust the phones and algorithms more than they trust you and I. Mm-hmm. And why would they, right? Because we're sleazy salesmen. Why would they? So it's only going to get worse and worse and worse because, and I joke about that because people aren't able to amplify their value. They're not able, they're not truly able to convey the message. They're not able to convey the value, and it comes off as selfish, right? And we talk about commission breath, and we talk about all this and that. That's what's happening.
Yeah,
People aren't really conveying the value.
Absolutely, it goes back to everything we talk about to our younger agents, the ones we're coaching up every week in our sales training. You know, and if you can't communicate,
right,
you know, and actually show value to your clients, then they have no reason to trust you or to want to work with you.
Absolutely.
You know?
So going back to this again, people have figured it out. They're going to be direct to consumer models. I think a lot of median valued properties in Chicago, it's 300 or something, right? I mean, those properties will be direct to consumer. It'll be cheaper to operate.
Right.
Properties that are unique, special, affluent clients, they'll hire brokers. People still hire travel agents as well, right?
Yeah.
Not everyone goes on Google Flights and books a ticket. Some complex deals are, you know, they go through travel agents and everything. And I think that's going to happen to real estate as well. But yes, I think people have figured it out. And they're going to keep coming after the commissions over and over. They're already winning. It's already happening. It's already going to be, it's not going to be 5%. There's never going to be a 5% national average or a standard anymore. That's gone, right? We're already seeing 0% commissions. Some large brokers from larger brokerages, they're already putting listings out there at 0% and whatnot. So we're seeing that happen real time right now. And I'm seeing more and more people saying, yeah, I'm just quitting. I'm not renewing my license. I sit on the board of NASBAR. I see, you know, every single day I'm seeing a drop in membership. Same thing on NAR level. I mean, you know, nationally. So this is all happening. To answer your question, yeah, you're right. I mean, people have figured it out. They're going to keep coming back over. So we don't have one threat. We have multiple threats.
Right.
People don't really like real estate agents for some reason. I don't know why. And I think it's because those people have kind of effed it up for everyone.
Absolutely. Well, Rafay, hey, listen, I know we didn't have too much time today to chat. We'll pick it up on the next podcast, but thanks for stopping by, and you know, I look forward to doing some big things with you.
My pleasure.